Hi, everybody. I hope you're having a great day, and I hope you had a great afternoon yesterday. Greetings from Ebensburg, Pennsylvania, in my house. Um, we are going today. We are going to talk about wrapping up our stories as we're finishing our creative writing project. We started our writing with a really great hook, some with a question or a sound word. Um, and we really want to make sure that we find a really good and solid ending for our writing to make sure that our readers end the book feeling satisfied, like it would they're really happy with how the book ended. So I'm going to give you a couple of ways today that you might want to think about ending your story. So the first way that we are going to take a look at is repetition. When we talk about the word repetition, inside it you can see the smaller word repeat, or it at least sounds like the word repeat. And what that means is the first line of your story is the same as the very last line of your story. Um, so for an example, if you were writing a story that was kind of like a fairy tale and had princesses and princes, you might start off, your hook might be, do all princes and princesses have happy endings? And then and it said maybe not, and then at the end you would say, after you've told your story, maybe you tell a story about a princess or a prince and there really isn't a happy ending, but there's some sort of other ending, and then the last line is, do all princes and princesses have happy endings? Maybe not. And that way it kind of like, it starts the same, it ends the same, and it's a nice way to wrap it up. That's one of my favorites. um, the next way we can end our story is by saying what the moral or the lesson is of our story. So I'm thinking specifically of the story that I'm writing about. I think we called her Super Neggy. Um, so saying, and Super Neggy learned, like at the end, after she's figured out who stole the lollipops from Walmart, and figured out it was a baby, and she solved this problem all by herself. I might end with the moral or lesson that says, Super Neggy realized, and what she learned was, Super Neggy realized that just because she was a kid um, doesn't mean that she could only do a little. She could actually do a lot. So you talk about what the character learned, um, and what they learned from what had happened to them in their story. Then two more. So the next one is advice. So you, as the author, give a piece of advice to the reader. So you might say something like, so, and just like Super Niggy learned, the next time you see a trail of lollipops leading up to someone, or next time you find clues, follow your gut. So it's like you, as the author, are giving the advice. And then the last one that the last one that we're um, going to talk about is how we can how can we end our stories with a question. So this might be a time to say, like, maybe you give some sort of like, maybe in sort of a cliffhanger way, maybe you're writing a mystery, and maybe I could end mine by saying, not sure if the baby actually took it or not, and they say, the trail of lollipops was leading up to the shopping cart, but um, Super Neggy stopped there. Was this actually the culprit? What do you think? And then just stopping there, like, that would be a really intriguing ending. So first, repetition, starting with the same sentence, ending with the same sentence or similar sentences. Number two, the moral or the lesson. What did the character learn? Number three, a piece of advice you're giving to the reader. And number four, a question or sort of a cliffhanger to kind of keep the reader's interest going. So that's what you'll be working on today. If you have an idea for another way to end the book that you think is a really solid way, um, that's completely fine, as long as it has a nice way to wrap it up. Because how many times have we read books and sometimes they don't always end the way that we would like for them to. So what we're going to practice today in our writing is we're going to practice working on these endings. You may use these tips, you may use what you know. Happy writing, writers. I'll see you on Monday.